On this episode of John Marucci on the Road, we'll review Silver Springs State Park just east of Ocala, Florida. Silver Springs has a rich history as a tourist spot for over 100 years and contains the largest artesian spring in the world, producing greater than 300 million gallons of fresh water per day. The spring forms the crystal clear Silver River, which supports a wide array of wildlife. Hey everybody, this is John Marucci. I made the jump to traveling with my RV back in 2016 and have never looked back. I've had my share of problems along the way, and this channel attempts to be what I wish I had when I started out. So let's go ahead and jump in. Silver Springs State Park contains 5,000 acres, including just under 15 miles of trails to explore. The Headspring Area, that was a former privately owned tourist attraction, became a state park in 2013. Prior to this, the state ran what was known as Silver River State Park, which did not include the privately owned Headspring Area attraction. Near the campground is the Silver River Museum, with a wide array of authentic period houses and artifacts from long ago. The outdoor area of the museum is a nice stroll to take near the main trailheads and worth the time. There is a period glass-bottom boat on display, as well as one-room schoolhouse and various other period dwellings and structures. The main Headspring area is almost 3 miles by trail and also worth the effort. Although you can travel there by car, I prefer the hike, as the Spring Connector Trail goes through a beautiful wooded area. The Headspring area requires admission, yet the fees can be waived with a campsite tag. So if you plan to drive or hike to the main Headspring area, remember to bring your site tag. While at the Headspring area, it is easy to see that it had been a commercial interest until just recently. There are many stores and landmarks depicting the touristy nature of the area. The grounds are spacious and worth the trip, and the spring area itself is very relaxing and beautiful. As far as the campground is concerned, there are 2 loops with a total of 57 reservable RV campsites that have water and electric service. There are 13 campsites with sewer hookups. The campground is only a few miles from groceries and restaurants in northeast Ocala. There's a dump station at the campground that can accommodate 2 RVs at a time. Given the 44 campsites without sewer connection, this makes for a 22-to-1 ratio of campsites to dump stations, which is outstanding. Most campsites are gravel, large, and level. There are also several pull-through sites available. One thing to be aware of are the 4 smaller sites that share a driveway. Sites 12 and 13 in the Sharps Ferry Loop and sites 40 and 41 in the Fort King Loop share a drive, and both sites 12 and 40 are smaller and difficult to back into. The campground sits in the midst of a nice wooded area. There are also 10 cabins to rent if interested. Before we get into the 5 criteria that we cover for campground reviews, we want to let you know about a great planning resource on johnmarucci.com. Did you know that some states allow their park campgrounds to be booked over a year in advance, while others are as little as 90 days? This can make travel planning a real headache when trying to book a trip through different states. Our interactive state park booking map provides vital booking window information for state parks that will allow you to better plan your next great trip. You can even click right to each state's reservation website from the interactive map. Just visit johnmarucci.com and click on the resources page to find out more. There are 5 criteria we look at when rating a campground. First up, hospitality and check-in. We give this a 5 out of 5, as it was very easy to check in. We didn't need to leave the vehicle to do so, as the ranger confirmed our reservation and gave us our site tag, and we were on our way. Next in our review is infrastructure and amenities, which are also giving a 5 out of 5. The main park road and campground loops are paved and in excellent shape. There are modern bathhouses with laundry machines. Like most Florida State Park campgrounds, the campground is well maintained and cleaned by the campground hosts. And there is a security gate with passcode to enter the campground after hours. Site quality gets a 4 out of 5, as quality of the various sites is good and privacy is also very good. There are some berms and decent space between most campsites. As mentioned above, be aware of Site 12 and 13 and 40 and 41 when booking, as these sites share common driveways. Most campsites have good shade as well, given the many tall pines in the campground. As a reminder, 13 of the 57 reservable campsites have sewer hookups, with the remainder only having water and electric. Most sites are very large and can accommodate most large RVs. Having stayed at many different campgrounds, the campsites at Silver Springs are some of the best stayed at. If all campsites had full hookups, it would be difficult to imagine better in terms of quality without paying significantly more. All sites also have fire pits, picnic tables, and are basically level. Our exercisability rating is 5 out of 5, as there are paved park roads to run on with very occasional slow traffic, as well as the nearly 15 miles of quality trails within the park. Some of the trails are well suited for mountain biking, and as mentioned earlier, there is an almost 3-mile trail from the campground to the Headspring area. There's also access to Silver River, which is excellent for canoeing and kayaking. So opportunities for recreation and exercise abound at the park. One thing to consider, if you do plan to run on the park roads, is to be aware of the very windy nature of the main park road. A few times we had to be cautious of traffic due to the limited visibility around the many curves. Also, most of the trails are flat and soft underfoot. It would make for excellent trail running. Finally, we're giving a 5 out of 5 for workability, as the bandwidth for AT&T was very good, with Verizon being stellar. Using an iPhone 10, we had speeds of 26.9 megabits per second down and 7.05 megabits per second up on AT&T, making it very easy to work. Using our Verizon Jetpack 8800L MiFi, we experienced incredible speeds of 105 megabits per second down and 11.5 megabits per second up, some of the fastest LTE speeds we've seen at any Florida state park. This made working remotely effortless in terms of bandwidth. Overall, we thought Silver Spring State Park was an excellent value and would stay here again. We could easily work remotely and exercise, and the hiking was very good. The campground quality, privacy, and spacious campsites, many with full hookups, at a Florida State Park price, made for a top-notch and highly recommended experience. If you're looking for a relaxed state park with outstanding amenities and natural beauty at an exceptional value, this certainly should be on your list. The biggest issue will be planning enough in advance to reserve one of the 49 campsites. Florida State Park's booking window is 11 months, so you need to plan well in advance to hook the best campsites. Okay, that'll do it for now. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button. We'd love to have you join the On The Road team by subscribing to the channel. If you want to dive deeper, we put more content and photos on Instagram and Twitter at John Marucci, and you can also follow us on Facebook at John Marucci on the Road. Besides that, don't forget the great travel resources, podcasts, and blogs available on johnmarucci.com. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. This is John Marucci, and so long for now.